Well, howdy. Welcome to my incredibly messy studio, which is, by the way, exactly as I like it. So, my name's Micheal DeMeng, and I thought I would share with you guys a product that I use a ton. Now, if you're not familiar with my work, what I do is I take found objects, create weird things out of them, but it's not just the found objects I use a product called Aves Clay. Now, this is Aves Clay. I love this stuff. So this is really easy to use. Like if you're a sculptor, you can use it and mush it together and make, I'm going to make a Leonardo da Vinci sculpture. That's totally doable, assuming you know what Leonardo da Vinci looks like. So that would be good. I use it sort of mixing things that are holding things together, but also blending objects together. But it's so easy to use. Let me show you how it works. So first off, the first thing you need to do is open the lids. There we go. Now, what we need to do is out of these, I need to get equal parts of each half. Now these are two halves, so I need a part A and a part B. So what I need to do is get one out of one and one out of the other, because what I'm going to do with these, I'm going to mush them together. I'm going to mix them together, and that's what's going to harden them. So grab a couple of parts. So that's about right, about equal-ish. I mean, you don't have to be precise, but you want about equal parts. Now I need to mix these together. Now to do this, what I recommend doing is throw some gloves on. Because, you know, these are chemical, though they're non-toxic. But sometimes people have a sensitivity, so throw some gloves on while you're mixing it. And it just so happens I have beautiful periwinkle gloves, just so handy. So I'm going to mix this stuff together. Now, by the way, one of the things I should mention is that this stuff, you know, if you find it a little bit stiff, if you just put it in a warm place for a little bit, then it's a lot easier to mix. So just, you know, if you live in Arizona, if you live in the desert, you're set. Set it outside for 10 minutes in the middle of summer, and this stuff will mush together like nothing. So mix it up thoroughly. So what I do is I snake it up, and then I fold it, snake and fold, and that's what I do. And I just keep mixing and mixing until it's all mixed together. So you don't want to see any marbling in there, so you want to make sure it's thoroughly mixed, or it's not going to work. You need it to mix together in order for it to start hardening. Okay, so I think that's pretty well mixed, and now I can take off my gloves. So now that it is mixed, I have about 2 to 3 hours for this to set. So the Aves Clay takes about 2 to 3 hours once it's mixed for it to set. And a lot of that depends on your climate, where you live, all that sort of mumbo jumbo. So what you want to do is you don't want to mix too much of this. Use as much as you need. So don't like, I'm going to make a whole, you know, just use bits and bits and bits, because you want to be able to build on it within that time frame. Now that it's all mixed, what I can do with it, I can do it whatever I want. I can make whatever I want out of it. In my case, I add it to things, build things, you know, all that sort of stuff. Let's say I wanted to make an Edgar Allan Poe figure. You know, let's say I wanted to have a little Edgar Allan Poe figure. All I do is I'd mix it together, and then lo and behold, an Edgar Allan Poe figure. Just like that. So quick. I'm a fast worker. It's amazing. Now, the other cool thing about this stuff, the clay, I was tricking you guys. I didn't really do that. Some of you smarty pantses have figured that out. One of the things that I love about this clay, though, is that for about the first 45 minutes it's water soluble. So what does that mean? Well, it means it's water soluble. Well, okay, beyond that, what that means is that it acts like a ceramic. So those of you who've taken art classes with clay, you know how it gets all that milky stuff, which makes it easy to blend. Well, if you add a little bit of water, you can create a nice smooth surface. So you can smooth it out with water. You can also make this slip. Now this stuff, this milky stuff that's on my fingers, this is great because a lot of times when I'm working on various objects and I'm building up on surfaces like found objects, a lot of the nice thing about this slip is that this stuff will help blend the clay into objects that aren't made out of the clay. So that's what I love about it. And then once it's all dry, it's carvable, it's paintable. These are a few, like, here's like, you know, weirdo piece made from both the clay and found objects. And part clay, part clock, part whatever. So using the clay in conjunction with objects is always a great way to go. So this stuff is great if you do assemblage, if you do sculpture, if you do whatever, you're gonna love the Aves Clay. So check it out.
Check it out.